Hey, beautiful people. Welcome to Bible in a Year with Lovie, day 145. We're almost halfway through, and man, I apologize for not being as consistent as I was to begin with. I really am under attack. This week I've been driving overnight, and I'm exhausted, and in a park, and rather than just doing my Bible study, I go to sleep or, watch something on TV until I fall asleep, and then I wake up late, and I have to drive again. And I'm not making excuses, but that's the reason why I've been slipping lately. Also, I'm battling with some things. Self-worth, obviously, right now is something that I'm battling with. I'm like, God, you gave me this thing to do, but I don't even feel like I'm good enough to even be, sharing your word. And I know that that's just Satan trying to whisper in my ear and keep me from doing what God called me to do. So y'all, please just, those of you who have been sticking it out with me from day one, and those of you who are just joining in, man, y'all please just bear with me. I did make this commitment, and I will honor this commitment. And I know there may be days where I didn't post, and just when you see that I didn't post, just please lift me up in prayer, because there's a battle going on, and I know that it's a spiritual thing, but we're gonna keep fighting, and this too shall pass. So, anyways, thank y'all for your patience and understanding as we continue with this Bible study. So today we're on 1 Chronicles 25. We're going to read 25, 26, and 27. And then we're going to flip over to John chapter 9 and start it off. There are going to be a lot of more names. I promise I will mess some of them up. But I wasn't trained how to pronounce these names. And most of them are not even a language that I speak. So, y'all love me. Y'all bear with me. Let's dive right in. 1 Chronicles chapter 25. David and the army commanders then appointed men from the families of Asaph, Heman, and Jeduthun to proclaim God's messages to the accompaniment of lyres, harps, cymbals. Here's a list of their names and their work. From the sons of Asaph were Zakur, Joseph, Nethaniah, and Asarela. They worked under the direction of their father Asaph, who proclaimed God's messages by the king's orders. From the sons of Jeduthun, there were Jedaliah, Zeri, Jesiah, Shimei, Hashabiah, Mattithiah, 6 in all. They worked under the direction of their father Jeduthun, who proclaimed God's messages to the accompaniment of the lyre, offering thanks and praise to the Lord. From the sons of Heman there were Bukiah, Mattaniah, Uzziah, Shubael, Jeremoth, Hananiah, Hanani, Eliathah, Jedalti, Ramamti Ezer, Josh Bekasha, Malathi, Hothir, and Mahazioth. All these were the sons of Heman, the king's seer, for God had honored him with 14 sons and 3 daughters. All these men were under the direction of their fathers as they made music at the house of the Lord. Their responsibilities included the playing of cymbals, harps, and lyres at the house of God. Asaph, Jeduthun, and Heman reported directly to the king. They and their families were all trained in making music before the Lord, and each of them, 288 in all, was an accomplished musician. The musicians were appointed to their term of service by means of sacred lots, without regard to whether they were young or old, teacher or student. The first lot fell to Joseph of Asaph clan and 12 of his sons and relatives. The second lot fell to Jedaliah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The third lot fell to Zachar and 12 of his sons and relatives. The fourth lot fell to Zeri and 12 of his sons and relatives. The fifth lot fell to Nethaniah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The sixth lot fell to Bukiah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The seventh lot fell to Asarela and 12 of his sons and relatives. The eighth lot fell to Jeshiah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The ninth lot fell to Mattaniah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 10th lot fell to Shimei and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 11th lot fell to Uzziel and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 12th lot fell to Hashabiah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 13th lot fell to Shubael and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 14th lot fell to Mattathiah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 15th lot fell to Jeremoth and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 16th lot fell to Hananiah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 17th lot fell to Joshbekasha and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 18th lot fell to Hanani and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 19th lot fell to Malathi and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 20th lot fell to Eliathah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 21st lot fell to Hothir and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 22nd lot fell to Jedalti and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 23rd lot fell to Mehaziah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 24th lot fell to Ramamti-Ezer and 12 of his sons and relatives. Chapter 26. Oh, man. Okay. Here we go. These are the divisions of the gatekeepers. From the Korahites, there were Meshelemiah, son of Kori, of the family of Abiasaph. The sons of Meshelemiah were Zechariah the oldest, Jediel the second, Jebediah the third, Jethniel the fourth, Elam the fifth, Johanan the sixth, and Elionai, whatever, the seventh. The sons of Obed-Edom, also gatekeepers, were Shemaiah the oldest, Jehozabad the second, Joah the third, Sakar the fourth, Nathanael the fifth, Amiel the sixth, Azakar the seventh, and Pulathai the eighth. God had richly blessed Obed-Edom. Obed-Edom's son Shemaiah had sons with great ability who earned positions of great authority in the clan. Their names were Othni, Raphael, Obed, and Elzabad. Their relatives Elihu and Semachiah were also very capable men. All of these descendants of Obed-Edom, including their sons and grandsons, 62 of them in all, were very capable men, well qualified for their work. Meshelemiah's 18 sons and relatives were also very capable men. Hosa of the Merari clan appointed Shimri as the leader among his sons, though he was not the oldest. His other sons included Hilkiah the second, Tebaliah the third, and Zechariah the fourth. Hosa's sons and relatives who served as gatekeepers numbered 13 in all. These divisions of the gatekeepers were named for their family leaders, and like the other Levites, they served at the house of the Lord. They were assigned by families for guard duty at the various gates, without regard to age or training, for it was also decided by means of sacred lots. The responsibility for the east gate went to Meshelemiah and his group. The north gate was assigned to his son Zechariah, a man of unusual wisdom. The south gate went to Obed-Edom, and his sons were put in charge of the storehouse. Shuppim and Hosa were assigned the west gate and the gateway leading up to the temple. Guard duties were divided evenly to the south gate. Were divided evenly. 6 Levites were assigned each day to the east gate, 4 to the north gate, 4 to the south gate, and 2 pairs at the storehouse. 6 were assigned each day to the west gate, 4 to the gateway leading up to the temple, and 2 to the courtyard. These were the divisions of the gatekeepers of the clans of Korah and Merari. Other Levites, led by Ahijah, were in charge of the treasuries of the house of God and the treasuries of the gifts dedicated to the Lord. From the family of Libni in the clan of Gershon, Jehiel was the leader. The sons of Jehiel, Zetham and his brother Joel, were in charge of the treasuries of the house of the Lord. These are the leaders that descended from Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. From the clan of Amram, Shebuel was a descendant of Gershom, son of Moses. He was the chief officer of the treasuries. His relatives through Eliezer were Rehabiah, Jeshiah, Joram, Zikri, and Shelomoth. Shelomoth and his relatives were in charge of the treasuries containing the gifts that King David, the family leaders, and the generals and captains and other officers of the army had dedicated to the Lord. These men dedicated some of the plunder they had gained in battle to maintain the house of the Lord. Shelomoth and his relatives also cared for the gifts dedicated to the Lord by Samuel the seer, Saul son of Kish, Abner son of Ner, and Joab son of Zeruiah. All the other dedicated gifts were in their care too. From the clan of Izhar came Kenaniah. He and his sons were given administrative responsibilities over Israel as officials and judges. From the clan of Hebron came Hashabiah. He and his relatives, 1,700 capable men, were put in charge of the Israelite lands east of the Jordan River. They were responsible for all matters related to the things of the Lord and the service of the king in that area. Also, from the clan of Hebron came Jeriah, who was the leader of the Hebronites according to the genealogical records. In the 40th year of David's reign, a search was made in the records, and capable men from the clan of Hebron were found at Jazer in the land of Gilead. There were 2,700 capable men among the relatives of Jeriah. King David sent them to the east side of the Jordan River and put them in charge of the tribes of Reuben and Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh. They were responsible for all matters related to God and to the king. Chapter 27. This is the list of Israelite generals and captains and their officers who served the king by supervising the army divisions that were on duty each month of the year. Each division served for 1 month and had 24,000 troops. Jeshabeam, son of Zabdiel, was commander of the 1st division of 24,000 troops, which was on duty during the 1st month. He was a descendant of Perez and was in charge of all the army officers for the 1st month. Dodai, a descendant of Ahoah, was commander of the 2nd division of 24,000 troops, which was on duty during the 2nd month. Mikloth was his chief officer. Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, the priest, was commander of the 3rd division of 24,000 troops, which was on duty during the 3rd month. This was the Benaiah who commanded David's elite army group known as the 30. His son, Amizabad, was his chief officer. Asahel, the brother of Joab, was commander of the 4th division of 24,000 troops, which was on duty during the 4th month. Asahel was succeeded by his son Zebediah. Shammah, the Israelite was commander of the 5th Division of 24,000 troops, which was on duty during the 5th month. Ira, son of Akesh from Tekoa, was commander of the 6th Division of 24,000 troops, which was on duty during the 6th month. Helez, a descendant of Ephraim from Pelon, was commander of the 7th Division of 24,000 troops, which was on duty during the 7th month. Sibbecai, a descendant of Zerah from Husha, was commander of the 8th Division of 24,000 troops, which was on duty during the 8th month. Abiezer from Anathoth in the territory of Benjamin was commander of the 9th Division of 24,000 troops, which was on duty during the 9th month. Maharai, a descendant of Zerah from Netophah, was commander of the 10th Division of 24,000 troops, which was on duty during the 10th month. Benaiah from Pirathon in Ephraim was commander of the 11th Division of 24,000 troops, which was on duty during the 11th month. Heled, a descendant of Othniel from Netophah, was commander of the 12th Division of 24,000 troops, which was on duty during the 12th month. The following were the tribes of Israel and their leaders. The tribe of Reuben's leader was Eliezer, son of Zikri. Simeon was Shephatiah, son of Maacah. Levi was Hashabiah, son of Kemuel. Aaron, the priest, their leader was Zadok. Judah's leader was Elihu, brother of David. Issachar, their leader was Omri, son of Michael. The tribe of Zebulun's leader was Ishmaiah, son of Obadiah. Let's see. From the tribe of Naphtali, their leader was Jeremoth, son of Azriel. Ephraim's leader was Hoshea, son of Azaziah. Manasseh West's leader was Joel, son of Pedaiah. Manasseh in Gilead East, their leader was Iddo, son of Zechariah. Benjamin's leader was Josiel, son of Abner. And Dan's leader was Azarel, son of Jeroham. These were the leaders of the tribes of Israel. When David took his census, he did not count those who were younger than 20 years of age, because the Lord had promised to make Israelites as numerous as the stars in heaven. Joab, son of Zeruiah, began the census but never finished it because the anger of God fell on Israel. The total number was never recorded in King David's official records. Asmaveth, son of Adiel, was in charge of the palace treasuries. Jonathan, son of Uzziah, was in charge of the regional treasuries throughout the towns, villages, and fortresses of Israel. Ezri, son of Caleb, was in charge of the field workers who farmed the king's lands. Shimei from Ramah was in charge of the king's vineyards. Zabdi from Shechem was responsible for the grapes and the supplies of wine. Baal-Hanan from Geder was in charge of the king's olive groves and sycamore fig trees in the foothills of Judah. Joash was responsible for the supplies of olive oil. Shitrai from Sharon was in charge of the cattle on the Sharon plain. Shaphat, son of Adlai, was responsible for the cattle in the valleys. Obil, the Ishmaelite, was in charge of the camels. Jehediah from Meronoth was in charge of the donkeys. Jaziz, the Hagrite, was in charge of the king's flocks of sheep and goats. All these officials were overseers of King David's property. Jonathan, David's uncle, was a wise counselor to the king, a man of great insight and a scribe. Jehiel, the Hachmonite, was responsible for teaching the king's sons. Ahithophel was the royal advisor. Hushai, the Archite, was the king's friend. Ahithophel was succeeded by Jehoiada, son of Benaiah, and by Abiathar. Joab was commander of the king's army. Bam! That's all in 1 Chronicles. Today, we'll pick back up next time on 1 Chronicles chapter 28. But for right now, we're going to flip over to John chapter 9. John chapter 9. And we're going to start that off. John chapter 9. If y'all are ready, here we go. As Jesus was walking along, he saw a man who had been blind from birth. Rabbi, his disciples asked him, why was this man born blind? Was it because of his own sins or his parents' sins? It was not because of his sins or his parents' sins, Jesus answered. This happened so the power of God could be seen in him. We must quickly carry out the task assigned to us by the one who sent us. The night is coming, and then no one can work. But while I'm here in the world, I am the light of the world. Then he spit on the ground, made mud with the saliva, and spread the mud over the blind man's eyes. He told him, go wash yourself in the pool of Siloam. Siloam means sent. So the man went and washed and came back seeing. His neighbors and others knew him as a blind beggar, asked each other, isn't this the man who used to sit and beg? Some said he was, and others said, no, he just looks like him. But the beggar kept saying, yes, I'm the one. They asked, who healed you? What happened? He told them, the man they called Jesus made mud and spread it over my eyes and told me, go to the pool of Siloam and wash yourself. So I went and washed, and now I can see. Where is he now? They asked. I don't know, he replied. Then they took the man who had been blind to the Pharisees, because it was on the Sabbath, and Jesus had just made the mud and healed him. The Pharisees asked the man all about it, so he told them, he put the mud over my eyes, and when I washed it away, I could see. Some of the Pharisees said, this man Jesus is not from God, for he is working on the Sabbath. Others said, but how could an ordinary sinner do such miraculous signs? So there was a deep division of opinion among them. Then the Pharisees began again questioning the man who had been blind and demanded, what's your opinion about this man who healed you? The man replied, I think he must be a prophet. The Jewish leaders still refused to believe the man had been blind and could now see, so they called in his parents. They asked them, is this your son? Was he born blind? If so, how can he now see? His parents replied, we know this is our son and that he was born blind, but we don't know how he can see or who healed him. Ask him. He's old enough to speak for himself. His parents said this because they were afraid of the Jewish leaders who had announced that anyone saying Jesus was the Messiah would be expelled from the synagogue. That's why they said, he's old enough, ask him. That's where we're going to stop for today. I just want y'all to know how dead set the Pharisees are on, condemning Jesus. Let's just find something. Let's just find something to condemn him for. He's the light of the world. He did nothing wrong. There was no way for them to condemn him. But let's just try to find something. Let's dig just a little deeper. Surely we'll find something. I struggle with some things, yo. I'm struggling, y'all. I'm struggling with some things. And it's like, if I were to try to claim I was the Messiah, they would have reason to call me a liar because I would be lying. But Jesus wasn't lying. He's pure, because he healed the man on the Sabbath day. What's more important? And Jesus would have said the same thing. What's more important? Anyways, I love the Bible and I love my God, and I'm so grateful that he's a forgiving and understanding God. And I pray that these videos are helping y'all. I know sometimes they're difficult to get through, especially in the Old Testament parts. But, every word of the Bible is worth reading or listening to. And so I just encourage y'all to continue. And even when a video doesn't post, read your Bible, get in your word. And if you have issues with reading, go back and listen to another episode, or find you a sermon to listen to from someone who's actually preaching the word. And I thank y'all for your patience, in my process. I ask y'all to continue to lift me up in prayer and my family. I love you guys. Remember, if you want to see a change, you have to be the change. We lead by example. We follow by design. If it ain't a God thing, it ain't a good thing. So, y'all, like I said, please continue to lift me up in prayer. I'll continue to lift y'all up in mine. And don't forget to love like Jesus. I'll see y'all next time.